time for a review. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to YouTube and or Twitch, depending on where you're watching, or if you're watching live, you can join in the chat there. What do you think about this game? It's time to do a review of World War Z or World War Z, depending on where you come from in the world. So good afternoon, good evening, and good night if you're leaving after this video. I don't know. Let's talk about this game. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff if you want. Got World War Z today from the Epic Store. I was tempted to get it for console, because I have a 20% discount at Best Buy with the Gamers Club reward program. So, but when I got home today, I realized, I was like, oh, it's $34 on the Epic Games Store, I think $34.99. So that's pretty much the same price as what I would have paid if I drove all the way to Best Buy, picked up the physical copy because my discounts only have physical copies, and then drive back home. You know, I was like, all right, I might as well try it out on PC. We'll see. I'm figuring my PC is going to be able to handle this game. You know, it should be easy. I mean, if it's on consoles, my PC should be fine to stream and play it. We'll get into that later. But we'll go over the good stuff. The game has a lot of replayability to it. It's basically like a Call of Duty zombie mode. If you like that, or if you like Left 4 Dead, you'll like this. But it's definitely those games like light, you know, not like a heavy version or recreation of those games trying to take the mode in those games and then turn it into a full-fledged game here. It's definitely like a half-seas version of that with, like, you know, it's like when you eat a diet food. That's what this game is. It's like eating yogurt instead of, like, ice cream. You know, it's filling, it whelms you, you know, but you're just feeling like something is kind of like, nah, missing. You know, but it's a lot of fun, though. I will say, I mean, I was able to play through this for 5 hours straight today without taking a break, and I didn't regret it. Like, there wasn't any point where, you know, I was like, you know, I'm just getting tired of this. I just, like, a very, it follows a lot of Call of Duty-esque type of leveling up mechanics. So we could get into talking about that now. So the Call of Duty-esque leveling up mechanics in this just keep the continuation of playing and doing things feeling fresh. You're feeling like you're getting something really often. So it just, time starts to fly while you're playing it, you know, so that it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, I get it. So you have weapons and equipment and characters that you're going to be leveling up. So with the weapons, this is just like a kind of short version to kind of show you what you'll be getting here. With the weapons, you could get different types of attachments for weapons, and they will change what the weapon kind of does. Let's see if I can get a more informative version of that. So let's go into co-op campaign. We'll go into online. Customize. Okay, so here you go. You got 6 different classes here in the co-op version. The kind of story mode, the PvE version of the game, if it were. You know, this is the Left 4 Dead style version here. You know, so you get this kind of leveling up process, and it's on each of them. So you're going to have to do it for each of them. So figure out what character you like, I feel, in multiplayer. And then you can kind of just go ham and play through as you will. The points, you do use these little S points, I'll call them. I don't really know what they're called here. But these coins are used in multiplayer and in PvE. So, you know, use them wisely, I guess. It's in PvE, every match you finish, you're getting 150 points. So if you can just kind of go ham and play through the PvE like crazy, you could build up like a whole bunch of points and just rock and roll. As long as you're just getting through it, you know, unlocking things, you're going to rock and roll. It was an okay kind of episode. Should have been more. Game of Thrones. Berserk was watching Game of Thrones. Let us know live in the chat there, Berserk, what you think of the game if you want. Doing the review, you can post it on YouTube and all that stuff. Like and subscribe, everybody. So you get these points here, and they all do something. You can only choose one out of these options. So you are it is like a skill tree that you could customize and whatnot for what you kind of like. So, like, for example, I think this one's a better example here because I didn't end up buying that there. So, you can start with improved Mag 5 machine gun that deals 25% more damage and has 25% more ammo. Blah, blah. It's basically you get your secondary gun, which is like a pistol or maybe an Uzi type gun, an SMG. You know, then you get your main gun, which could be like a shotgun. Like, all these guns seem to have a version for the primary and secondary, except for like pistols and stuff like that. Don't seem to have a primary version. You know, so this one's a heavy gun. So you get your secondary, your main, and then your heavy gun. And the heavy gun just, they don't stay forever. So once you use the ammo for it, it just disappears. But while you're doing the maps in PvE, you do find a lot of heavy weapons. You're quite often, while you're running around, you find a heavy weapon here and there, and, you know, always be switching out, you know, and stuff. You know, so that was the option I chose. I chose to start off the match with a heavy weapon. And I really found myself quite often not even using it, and then ending up, like, dropping it when I picked up another heavy weapon. But the other options was you could start with a sporting carbine PAC-15, which is a gun I was leveling up, but I got up to the point where it's, like, too expensive for the next level. It's like 500 points for the next level for that gun. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do that as soon as I'm going to do these, you know, like, it goes from 150 here per level to 250, and I'm sure up here is going to be 500, you know. So I'd rather get these things leveled up first, because, you know, some of these will affect everything. Deal 25% more damage to special zombies. Just all of them, you know, 25% more damage. You know, and then the third choice was start with ARC 103 assault rifle. I don't remember particularly that gun, like, or ever using it, so I was like, you know, you know, no need for it. So since I only had one choice, I accidentally already had chosen the carbine when I was leveling it up. You know, I unlocked it. You know, so I go with that. So it's an interesting system with, you know, having to choose your stuff here. And then at the end of it, level 30, which is the max level of just unlocks for this class. You're killing 25 zombies in rapid succession grants 50% firearm damage boost to the entire team for 20 seconds. So these boosts do get pretty nice, and I do like that it's a passive one, so that's kind of another reason why I went with this class. I like passive, you know, bonuses, stuff where you don't have to activate anything or anything, you know, so it's kind of like you're getting like an ultimate booster to your team, and that's 20 seconds, and, you know, killing 25 zombies in rapid succession sometimes is not that hard, you know, with all the hordes coming in, so I feel like this is going to be something that should be able to pop quite often. And especially when you're probably playing on the harder modes. I didn't get a chance to try it out today. I might try it out tomorrow. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced it. But in harder modes, I don't know if they just add more health or you have more zombies coming, you know. Because if there's more zombies coming, that'd be cool. I did find in the PvE, sometimes there could be more zombies. Like, especially in the easy mode, I felt like there could be more. You know, you see these big hordes coming, but then you're killing them so fast that it doesn't feel like as many of them as, you know, kind of like it looks like. So that's like leveling up for the PvE, but then you got weapon customization. So every single weapon in the game has levels to it. So as you're playing through them, I think I leveled up this one. You see 500, 750, then probably 1,000 up there. But you can see, like, look, max penetration, boom, look at how much that goes up. On special units, that's going to help a lot. So, you know, to start it off, you come here, you're down, you're, like, a little bit less in power, a little bit less in handling. Then, boom, you get that power and handling. Now, boom, you can get power, accuracy, handling. This one doesn't have multiple options for it. Other guns do, you know. But you can see how much the gun changes over time from this all the way up to that, you know. And then the magazine size going up by another 16 there. It was really helpful. And, you know, tonight, just from using that, it's the starter gun for my character. You know, I almost got it max level there, which isn't bad. Isn't bad at all. I was using the sporting carbine there quite a bit. So you can see this one has multiple options in its tree. I was starting to go on the bottom one because this one, the one thing I don't like is I wish it would show me, like, what's the reticle going to be like on this one. If I choose this, what's the reticle like? You know, and if, you know, if I don't, like, see, this one doesn't have the reticle, but then on tier 2, you know, boom, reticle. So me personally, I don't like reticles, that, like, do scope. Like, see, that one looks like a scoped one. You know, I like being able to see what it's going to look like instead of spending 500. You know, especially since you're only getting 150 per every round in PvE, and I think, what was it, 400 for every win in PvP or whatnot? No, I think it was 250 for every win in PvP. You know, so, you know, this is, if you're not winning all the time in PvP, it might be a while before you can afford something like this if you're going to use the points towards your PvE stuff. You know, but it's still a lot of guns here. And then you got the tier 3 guns, so there is a little bit of leveling in the game. Let's see, assault carbine there. See, I didn't get it that much in the match, but as you're going through, you know, you do start to see, like, oh, there's a tier 3 gun here and whatnot, you know. I don't know what the Lobo bundle is. Apparently there's a bundle, but I haven't seen it anywhere or whatnot. I'm guessing maybe there was like a deluxe edition of this game to purchase that I just didn't notice. I mean, the Epic Game Store maybe doesn't lay it out as well. Or maybe there's something there to get. Let me know in the comments as well. Gameplay was pretty good. Be played. Spends time, especially if someone berserks on point, man. So you get to choose these episodes, and each one of these have like 3 kind of missions to them, except for Tokyo has the least of them. You know, so if I click it, it's gonna queue probably, but I don't want to make a queue here. You know, and each of them took, I mean, I was able to do it in 5 hours, so 3, 6, 9, 11 of them, 5 hours. What does that come out to? 5, 10. So like a half hour each, about. Maybe a little bit less than a half hour each. So you can get 150 abouts every half hour, you know, and if you got a team that's just running through crazy fast, I'm sure you could do it way faster, you know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And if all your guns are leveled that you're utilizing, you know, you could do it pretty fast and get the points and whatnot. But I will say, you know, the game is $35. So what I'm expecting from a $35 game is not like, you know, maybe Left 4 Dead level from back in the day. Because I don't, it's hard for me to remember Left 4 Dead fully. Because me and my friends only played through it a couple of times, you know. So I can't remember if there was any story to it. But I swear I could remember it felt like more of a linear kind of story than this did. Because this, you do like the New York thing, you get like a little bit of a movie scene. Like you could see like they did try to add a little story to it. Like there's a character on the train and whatnot, and you know, someone you're talking to, and you know, New York felt, out of all of them, New York and Jerusalem felt, out of all of them, the most linear story-wise. Moscow was a little bit less, and then Tokyo didn't even have 3 sections to it. It only has these 2, you know. But none of it felt like a linear story, because, I mean, you go in New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, Tokyo, and there's different stories going on there. So, like, it was a little bit of a letdown, but for $35, I'm not expecting a ton of story and whatnot. But what was a pleasant surprise, what I actually didn't know was going to be in the game, was the multiplayer mode. This was actually kind of really surprising to me. Let's see, we got quick match, so you could just queue up random. You got swarm domination, capture zones to earn points and win team victory. Capture a single hill, then control, you know, capture the node. You know, 2 teams go head-to-head in battle in team deathmatch. And then you get the raid, collect resources, scatter around the map, or tape them from fallen enemies during points, you know. So I guess it's like, whatchamacallit, like a dog tag match, you know, from Call of Duty. Pick up a vaccine and hold to turn victory points for your team. You know, not bad, not bad. You know, there's like capture the flag, hold the flag though, but you can move around. I was enjoying a lot of King of the Hill here. It felt the best for when you don't know the map too well. You know, it felt the best in this mode too. Going to the node, holding the node from the enemy team, and then something which was really surprising is it is still a mixture of the zombie mode, because you do have zombie hordes coming in, you know, in waves throughout the match, you know, especially in King of the Hill, where you cap the node and, you know, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a horde coming and blah, 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 and then all these zombies start running across the map and whatnot. You know, so you're defending now. Well, you're not defending against zombies, but they do kind of just run through. They're not like coming at you. So like it feels nice in that fact where like if they see you and they're near you and you're making noise by shooting or whatnot, then they'll run at you. You know, but it's not going to be like all of them. But you can stand off to the side and you'll just see the whole wave of them running by, you know, and you're good. Lost connection? Gosh, man. Gosh. There's a problem a little bit with the issues, the internet. I did have a few times when I was restarting the game, I was running into some internet issues there. They get a little bit of collection here. You can kind of like click on the characters when you play through as them, you know, and see a little video of their backstory or whatnot. Like I unlocked his. You need to play, complete any level while playing as this character. So you got to play as all the characters to unlock all the stories. I haven't really noticed anything other than that. Like, this seems like an area where, you know, there are just a lot of things in this to just seem like it was an idea begun and then just never got finished. Like, never had anything else added to it, you know, like, because, like, why make a whole, like, it's not a long video. It's like a 2-minute video, 3-minute video. It's all animated, like, cartoon style, you know. But, like, why make a video with backstory about these people if there wasn't going to be more story to this game? You know? It's, like, a little confusing. Then you can go into, like, weapons sections here. Like, why have this whole section if you could just see this whole thing in, like, the other area where you'll actually do stuff with the weapon? You know? It's, like, I don't get why just show what the attachment looks like. You know? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see, yeah, see the sporting carbine here. Like, why? Why am I just looking at this? You know? And then we'll see, we can hit preview here, like, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I can zoom in on it. Like, that's cool. Like, wow, look at the asset they created. It looks very real. I mean, look at those textures. You know? These are some amazing textures with the lighting. Look at the lighting shine on that. Really cool. But why is this here? Like, it just makes me feel like maybe there was going to be, like, a skins mode in this game. You know, there was just going to be more content that just, you know, got started, but just never got finished. You know, so to me, that's a little weird. Think of the world stuff here. And you've got this little section here, which looks like you could find documents or items in the world and get a little bit of backstory or something, you know, which is kind of cool. You know, I have a feeling this would be more so for console, you know, but, you know, it's cool, but, like, why is this here? Why are they're just showing off their assets? Like, look at these cool things we made. I don't know. To me, it's confusing. I don't understand why it's there. I don't understand. Then I gotta go on to the settings. So I have an i7-4790K and I have an RTX 2080. I don't really find myself getting any bottlenecking issues, but in this game, I had to tinker with the settings a lot. You know, I would assume that for a game like this, which I don't think it has the greatest visuals. I mean, it does have some good look, you know, visuals to it, especially on like high and ultra. But I don't think it's got the greatest of visuals. Certainly it has visuals that I feel like I should be able to stream and play the game at the same time, especially since I'm using the new NVENC encoder on my RTX 2080. You know, that less of a draw on the CPU should open up more than enough headroom for this game to load. And when I first started playing in load screens, even in the main menu, when I had frames per second to unlocked or unlimited, there you go. You know, I ran into a lot of issues. I was just maxing out my CPU like crazy. So I really feel like for this game, if you want to play with medium or higher on everything, you're going to probably need like at least an i5 current processor in your system. Because if you have a 4 series i5, you're probably not playing even 5 or 6 you're probably not playing this game, you know, on medium or higher. You know, especially if you're streaming, you're definitely not playing this game unless you have the new NVENC encoder with, you know, the newer GPUs that are out. So that was a little bit of a letdown. That I feel like this game is not that stunning of a game to me to be running that hard on the CPU and the GPU. But then again, I mean, this is World War Z. This isn't, you know, I mean, this is a game inspired by movies that really, though, I will say, does feel like a video game and plays like a video game. It doesn't feel like a video game that was made to just promote a movie. It feels like a video game that was made to, you know, be a video game. So they did well, in my opinion, especially for $35. I think you get more than enough game here for $35 to make the cost of $35 make sense. You know, this definitely, I can understand why they didn't do $60 because it's definitely not a $60 game. Definitely not. But for a very small game, I could see myself playing this more tomorrow on the stream, possibly. You know, I could see myself playing this in the future. One thing I did notice, so, like, all the unlocking and everything feels great, but it's one thing I noticed about the Epic Games Store, and that's that there's no achievements. So there's all these unlocks for all these different guns that you have, you know, all these different story modes and everything, you know, and I miss that feeling of completing, like, a section of the game, like completing the New York section, and get an achievement for it, you know? I kind of miss that. So that's something that I noticed I missed, and that's something, I guess, as a critique of the Epic Games Store, you know, that I think they could do a little bit better. You know, add in that. There's a lot of other things they could do better, but I'm not of the mindset of, I don't hate Epic Games for what they're doing. I'm thinking about doing a long video to explain that. Let me know in the comments if you'd want to see that. But yeah, overall, good game. I enjoyed it. I think this is definitely worth game, but get on console so you get achievements at least. You know, didn't run into anybody that was being annoying in the co-op campaign, which was kind of nice. You know, everyone seemed kind of nice. So once I started talking through the mic, like the first few matches, I wasn't really talking. But once I started talking, ran into a bunch of people that seemed like really cool people, and which was nice, you know, because it seemed like a situation where, like, they could have been people that you get to know, and then you start in chat, and now you're playing through this co-op campaign, and now you friend each other, now maybe you play some multiplayer, and now you got some new gaming friends, you know? And that's just awesome. So, like I said, cool game, $35. I would definitely pick it up if I were you. If you've got $35 lying around, I mean, with the holidays out and stuff, multiplayer is pretty good. It's not that bad. The shooting could be a little more crisp, but I'm sure on consoles you'll probably get some aim assists and whatnot, and it probably is going to feel a little bit better. But yeah, I think that's everything. I think that covers everything that I experienced, everything that was running through my head while I was playing, and what stuck out to me. So let me know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, comment, follow, and subscribe if you want to help support the channel. I stream Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. We do playthroughs, and then we do a review at the end of every playthrough when we do playthroughs. And sometimes play multiplayer games. It's just about hanging out and having a good time. So if you want, come on by. You know, and if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to be trying to upload more and more videos on there in the near future. So give me a few weeks on that, and we might start getting rocking and rolling on YouTube in a whole new way. Maybe. We'll see. Definitely, though. Gally, you have a good night. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Like, comment, subscribe, and follow if you